it's Beth, Body Archaeology, Sacred Wild Woman Retreats. I am the designated kitchen witch for Sacred Wild Woman Retreats, and so my alchemy happens in the kitchen. I like to play with flavors and textures and just kind of seeing what we can come up with. But today I'm actually going to work with a recipe because I need to take a pasta Primavera to my kids' school for Teacher Appreciation Week. And it's a really simple dish. It's a vegetarian dish, and so I'll introduce you to some of the ingredients. We're going to use zucchini and yellow squash. We're going to use some onion, yellow onion, a sweet onion if you want to use that. We have red and green bell pepper, any color pepper that you would like. Also some carrots and some red cherry tomatoes or grape tomatoes. It is a pasta dish, and so we're going to use some penne rigate. You can also use a bow tie pasta, something that has some texture, some bite to it, not something that's going to fall apart. So we're going to cook that al dente. The seasoning that we'll use is salt and pepper, olive oil, and then one of my favorite seasonings to use for vegetables is herbes de Provence. This particular variety comes from Trader Joe's. You can see that I've used all of it. I need to go buy some more. You can also augment that or substitute Italian seasoning for it. And I always like a little bit of extra thyme. So, depending on how I'm feeling, I might bump up some of the flavors in the seasonings. And if you're vegetarian, you'll top off this whole thing. Now, I'm just showing you the grated Parmesan, but if you can get a nice block of Parmesan cheese, Asiago cheese, some sort of hard, kind of pungent, something that has a little kick to it, and then after the dish is finished, then you're going to add that. So what we're going to do at this point is we're going to chop up these vegetables. She suggests in the recipe that we cut it into thin strips, and I'm going to debate that. I might cut it into dice, but I think either way you'll be fine because we're going to end up roasting it. So after we get all of these vegetables chopped, then we're going to roast the vegetables. And I have 2 baking pans. Hopefully that's going to be enough, but we want to have a nice even distribution. We don't want to crowd our vegetables, so we can get a nice caramelization on the veggies. And that's when they're really, really yummy. Okay, so I am going to start chopping these vegetables. I am not going to bore you with that, but I do want to mention this, that if you don't want to put it over pasta, there are some other options that you can put this vegetable mixture over, and you can use Zoodles, the zucchini spirals. You can use the butternut squash spirals. I kind of played with those this weekend, and they were delicious. I love them. So if you are being carb conscious at all or avoiding carbs, then you might want to go with the zucchini noodles. You could also go with like a shiratake noodle, something that's made with konjac. And then if you're just being just carb aware, then maybe the butternut squash, spaghetti squash, you can use that. You could also pick some of these pastas that are rich in protein, that are made out of things other than wheat, such as a chickpea flour or a lentil flour. And then if you're not concerned about that, then you're just going to eat the pasta. It's okay to enjoy your food, enjoy some pasta every once in a while. And I mentioned all of these things. I suppose if you're paleo, you could take this mixture, you can shred up some chicken, or maybe I would say chicken, and then you can place this on top of that. So this dish can be modified to fit into any food plan. And the food plan that you choose, there's no particular food plan that's the best food plan, but with awareness, just choosing the things that support your health, support your digestion, lead you into a greater state of being. That's going to be the best diet for you. There's some things that you want to follow, some just kind of like nutrition rules of the road that I believe every diet, no matter how we're eating, that we want to follow these things. But then after that, it's up to you. It's up to you to just stay in tune with your body, stay in tune with your seasons, stay in tune with your flow of life, you know, how you're flowing through life, and then you're adjusting your nutrition to that all of the time. And that way you get varied nutrition, you get the support that you need through this. So we're going to start chopping these things up, and I will come back to you. And the great thing about this recipe too is that we're moving into spring. I'm recording this in May, and so these are things that you can plant and you could be harvesting out of your own garden or a community garden. The zucchini, the squash, the peppers, and the tomatoes. Obviously not the onions or the carrots for our region. I'm in Louisiana, but that's okay. So we're using mostly a seasonal meal here. So I'll be back. All right, I'm back. So I have chopped up all the vegetables. They look like this. I went ahead and went with the strips. I thought, what the hell, I hadn't done it before. So we have the zucchini and the squash, carrot. We have some onion and the red bell pepper and the green bell pepper. So I spread some out, trying to get a single even layer on a baking pan, and I've already drizzled it with some olive oil and kind of mixed it around. That's the fun part. And then when you're done, just take the olive oil, rub it right into your hands. You have moisturizer right there. Okay, and then we're going to add a little salt and pepper. I'm going to go into the herbs, and I just like to do everything with my hands. You know, just start with a recipe, and you can start off by measuring everything, but then, you know, just start to play. I'm not following this recipe. I started off with it, and I'm just eyeballing like how many, you know, what's the ratio of vegetables that I want to do. I'm deciding if I want to add a little bit more seasoning or not, and I just love thyme, so I'm just going to go ahead and add this in. So after, now that this is all seasoned and ready to go, I'm going to pop it in the oven. The oven's been preheated to 450 degrees. And then I'm going to keep my eye on it because we have a harder vegetable like a carrot, and then we have a softer vegetable like a zucchini. So these are going to have a little bit of different cooking time, but we want to cook this until the carrot is soft. And I just want to make sure that I keep my eye on it and turn it as needed, but we don't want to overdo it either. So pop that in maybe about 20 minutes. I'm going to roast the vegetables. I'm going to get the water started for the pasta, and pretty soon my kitchen is going to smell amazing. Okay, so I have just pulled the roasted vegetables out of the oven. I have one more pan. I had to do 3 pans. It took more like 30 minutes to go ahead and get those roasted properly, but I have cooked and drained the pasta. I have poured the roasted vegetables on top of the pasta, and I've tossed it all together. While I was waiting, I also have some grape tomatoes that's going to be tossed in with this mix. And my kitchen right now, just wow, like you want to be here smelling this and getting ready to eat this. Normally, and I had quite a bit of time waiting for the vegetables to roast. Usually whenever I'm cooking stuff for an event, that's my garbage disposal max that you just heard. So usually when I'm getting ready to do something for an event, or I'm cooking for an event, in that lag time, I usually want to bake, and I'll make, you know, like a batch of cookies to go along with whatever I'm taking. And luckily I did not have everything that I needed for cookies, because just somehow my face ends up in the dough ends up in my mouth, my hips take up more real estate. It's just, I don't know what happens there. It's just kind of blackout during those times, but I'm glad that I didn't make cookies tonight. So I want to show you this deliciousness. So this is the pasta Primavera, and all of the herbs de Provence, our thyme. I added a little bit of olive oil. I want this to be a light, fresh tasting dish. I don't want it to be heavy and weighed down. And I'm gonna get this already packaged up to deliver to the teachers tomorrow. I hope they're nourished. I hope that they feel supported, and I hope that it helps to increase their energy and increase their well-being, because it's all made with love, it's all cooked with love, it's all delivered with love, and that's how food should be. So I hope that you guys have a great evening or great day, whatever you're going on for. Try this dish, play around with it, and there'll be more. Like, I'd love to do more cooking videos and hang out with you in the kitchen.